Good morning, and boy oh boy are we going to have some fun today. Welcome to Rose Red Homestead, where we just do experimenting all the time, and our focus of course is on food security, emergency preparedness, and self-reliance. One of the things that we have been focusing on for the past months is leveling up our food storage, and we've been really homing in on level 1. And the challenge for level 1 is to have in our refrigerator, freezer, and pantry meals for 60 days, either whole meals that are frozen or ingredients for meals that we can put together for 60 days without going to the grocery store, essentially, just in case some kind of an emergency happens and we have to live on what we have stored. So we have been doing lots of videos on different meals that can be integrated into your level 1 food storage. And that is exactly what we are doing. Every meal that we make, we are adding the ingredients to our food storage. Now, today's video is going to be on Birria Tacos. That is my attempt at rolling the double R's. It's Birria, Birria. And that's rolling the R's. If you are Americanizing it, it is Birria. The first syllable is beer, birria, birria. And so I'm attempting to roll my R's, but I don't do it like a true Spanish speaker. These tacos are delicious, according to everyone who makes them. Now, I guess it was quite the rage on the internet about 5 years ago. I've never made them before. And literally, usually before we do a meal on a video, I will do a practice run on it. But I'm quite familiar with Mexican cooking. I've done it for half my life. And so I'm familiar with the methodology that is going to be used today. So I'm thinking that we're okay to just do this. And we have Ed, one of our viewers, to thank for this video. He was the one that came up with a question about he loves the meat after it is dipped in the sauce that we're going to make, cooked in the sauce. And he loves these tacos, and he was wondering if he could can them. Well, sadly, there's no tested recipe for this, and I question whether or not it would be safe. But one of the things that I told him was that we can certainly freeze this and add it to our level 1 if we desire to keep some ready. So here is what we did to start with. And we went to the link that Ed provided in his comment, watched that video, and then we watched about a dozen more videos. And every single video that we watched about these tacos, Jim he was drooling with anticipation for us making these. He just smacked his lips and grinned and said, oh. And so, Jim, this is for you, baby.
You're exaggerating.
I've put a recipe together. I've kind of cobbled it together. I don't ever want to take all day to do anything, so I've kind of shortened it and streamlined it a little bit and borrowed a little bit from everybody else's recipes, and so we are ready to go. So we went to Three Amigos Market, and we bought all of our ingredients except for the vinegar, I think, and our cooking oil at the Three Amigos Market. And this is it. This is the spread. So I'm going to start right here and tell you what we have. This is cilantro, limes. These are sauce tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, white onions. Look how they package their garlic. Is that just fun? So we bought one of these things of garlic. This is Mexican oregano. This is whole cumin seed, bay leaves. So these are the cinnamon sticks. And then these 4 are the chilies. Now, I'm not sure we're going to use all 4 of these, but I bought them just in case. These are arbol. And these are the hottest among the 4. These are ancho chilies. These are guajillo. And these are morita, or they're commonly known as chipotle and adobo sauce. So I just thought I would show you this Scoville pepper scale. This has the most common chilies ranked in order of heat, with Trinidad scorpion being at the very top. I don't even want to be in the same room as that one. And then bell peppers at the bottom. I've highlighted in yellow the 3 that we are most likely to use, with the arbol being just a little bit right up here a little bit. So notice that Jim and I are very comfortable in the yellow. And so this is available online. It's fun to kind of look at this. So this tells us that when we're done, we're going to be able to stand the amount of heat that goes in. So we also bought a stack of tortillas. I was going to make tortillas because generally the tortillas that we buy from the grocery store are not great, but I thought that we would try these from the Mexican store. This is the meat. It was not packaged at all the way most of our stores do. They just put it in a plastic bag, put a label on it. It is a chuck roast that is 4 pounds. And then we have some Oaxaca cheese. The only way they had it was already grated, so that's okay. And this is the cheese, and if you don't have this, you can also substitute. Now, one of the things that I want to show you is this is a new meal for us in terms of our level 1 food storage. And so I didn't hesitate buying larger packages of things because a lot of this is going to go right into our level 1 food storage. But how do we store this? Well, I'm going to go off camera and package up everything the way that I'm going to store it, and then we'll bring you back and show you, and then we'll get busy on our tacos. Well, here are the packages of everything that we brought home from the store. So these are pretty much the spices, the cinnamon sticks, Mexican oregano. This is whole seed cumin and bay leaves. And I have repackaged these. I'm not going to vacuum seal these because these are going to go in the spice cabinet, and I'll use them, rotate through them just like I do all other spices. The chilies, on the other hand, I want to preserve these for longer term storage. And so I have put them all in mason jars. These 3 are vacuum sealed. This one is going to be vacuum sealed. I'm going to show you how I do that. And when they are packaged this way with the air removed, they will last for a really long time. One article I read said they will even last indefinitely. And I do not dry my own chilies. I always buy these whole chilies that have been professionally dried. So this is my little battery-operated vacuum sealer. I'll put this in the product list from below, and it just works so great. And so I just pop that on there for about 35 seconds. And then this whole big jar has all of the air removed, and these are sealed. Now, many years ago when I was in El Paso and doing a lot of Mexican cooking, I would just keep these chilies in their original packaging. And there was, on one occasion, I opened up one that I had had for maybe about a year, and it was full of bugs. So bugs are not put off by the hot chilies at all. And so that's from now on, I keep them in airtight containers. Now, they have to be kept cool, well, just not super hot. And in the summertime, our food storage out in the garage gets hotter than about 70 degrees. And so these are going to go in the house. I have a shelf space in my pantry selected for these, where they will stay in here, where my kitchen stays about 70 degrees year round. So that's a perfect place for them, and it's usually dark in there. So it's perfect. So now I'm going to stage a few things, and we'll be back on our tacos. Well, I've staged a few things, and here's where we're going to start. Our meat, our 4 pounds of chuck roast, has been cut into quite large chunks. And first thing I'm going to do is to sprinkle every side with salt. So I'll quickly turn these over. All right, now we're going to let those just sit for a few minutes while we do some other things. Now, what I do with the chilies is get rid of the seeds. The seeds have a lot of heat, and pretty much everyone we watch did this very same thing. So, and I usually do it anyway. So I'm cutting off the stem end and splitting the chilies open, and you can see the seeds on the inside. Now, these are very leathery, and so it makes the seeds a little bit sticky on the inside. And so it has taken just a little bit of extra work to get the seeds out. Now, a few seeds won't matter, but this is where the heat is. So we're going to pretty much clean them as much as we can. Sometimes they're just dry enough that you can just go like this and all the seeds fall out. These are beautifully dried, or sometimes they come off in a little string like that, which was really good. I like that. If you can get a hold of the string, you can pull the seeds off. Okay, now, this goes in the trash. I have a cast iron pot right here that I have some water in. When that comes to a boil, what we are going to do is put these chilies in, and I used, I'll have the recipe for this below the description box, so you'll have it. I put in 6 anchos, 4 guajaros, 4 guajaros, and 4 moritas. Then I also put in 2 of the little red ones, and those are the anchos. So then I have our plum tomatoes right here. They're going to go in for about the last 2 minutes. So we'll get to that when we are ready. And what I'm going to do is prepare our little spice packet. I've got 2 bay leaves here, and those are from our Mexican bay leaves. This was a half of a cinnamon stick. You can use a full cinnamon stick if you want to, but these were gigantic, so I just used a half. And then I need a teaspoon of this is cumin seed. And these little spice bottles, I had these on hand from another project I had. I will look for the link, and if I have it, I'll put this down also in the description box so that you will have it. I have, these are 2 things that I did not get at the Mexican store. I'm going to put a couple of whole cloves in there. We don't want that to be overwhelming. And then a few peppercorns. It's about that many. So then I'm just going to gather this up. And this is just cheesecloth, and it's a double layer because this is quite fine cheesecloth. And we don't need all this extra stuff here. Okay, that's ready to go. And we turn this off. We'll come back in 8 minutes, turn it back on, and put the tomatoes in for a couple of minutes, and be back at that point. All right, our chilies have rehydrated. Our tomatoes have been in for a couple of minutes to soften the skins. So I'm going to put about half of the chilies in the blender, along with some of this chili water. And we are going to blend this into part of our sauce. I'm also going to put in half the onions. This is 1 onion diced. And about half of the garlic, smashed garlic, 5 cloves. We may need to add more water, we'll see. This Vitamix is old, but it's still just great. Jim and I figured the other day we probably had this for about 18 years. Now this sauce needs to be super smooth as we can. Don't want to inhale that steam. So let's do the other half. Okay, that's pretty good. The next step is to deal with the meat. Using our same pan, we're going to put just a little bit of avocado oil in the bottom. Make sure it's completely coated. And heat it for just a moment. The next thing that we're going to do is to sear the meat. We're going to put them in here just a batch at a time, leaving space so that we can turn them. All this fat is good for what we're doing. So we'll be back when the meat is completely seared and know what is next. So I just put the last piece of the meat on this tray, and our frying pan is still smoking. So I'm now going to put the sauce in here. Be very, very careful. Turn that off. Wow, this is just splattering everywhere. Should not have done that while it was so hot. Learn from our mistakes. Okay, I've made a total mess of my countertop. I'll get that in a minute. But what we're going to do is allow this to simmer for I've just turned it off. I'll have to turn it back on after it calms down. We're going to just let this slowly simmer for about 5 or 6 minutes. I want it to pick up all of the flavor on the bottom of this pan. So let's see how it's doing. Yeah, it's calmed down. So I'm going to turn it back on and put it on low. Sure smells good. This chili sauce right here is really powerful. It has a lot of capsaicin in it, which is the chemical that burns skin. We've had a couple of interactions with that today unintended. I accidentally breathed in some of the steam from the boiling chilies and was coughing for quite a while. Jim picked a few seeds out, washed his hands, and then touched his eye. Capsaicin still got in his eye and half of his face. I have some right there in my hair. I think it turned my hair orange.
Oh, wow.
So we're just going to let this simmer for a few minutes, and I'm going to wipe up this mess, and we will be back. Well, that was pretty wild. We got the most of it cleaned up, but I got splattered on my blouse. So while this is cooking, I'm going to change blouses. So the rest of the video, I'll be dressed differently. You have two choices here. We're getting ready now to simmer the meat and all of the sauce together. So you can either do it like I'm going to do it in an Instant Pot. I'm actually going to use my Nesco, which is the same thing, which is pressure cooking, not canning. It's pressure cooking. And for that, we will set the timer. Boy, my eyes are watering too, just from being close to the steam coming off that chili. Whew. I promise I'm not crying, at least on purpose. So it will be 45 minutes once it gets going, or you can do it on your stovetop for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I'm going to do it fast because the results are going to be just about the same, and that will save us quite a bit of time to get this done. And it's noon right now, so we'll have a little bit of a late lunch with these tacos, which will be just fine. So the next step then, if you're going to be doing it on the stove, when you sear your meat, use whatever pot you are going to use to finish off the cooking, so you don't have to wash a whole lot of things. So a large size Dutch oven would be just perfect. So I'm going to take this little saucepan and dump our sauce right here into, and I'm going to pour it away from me. Okay, now.
Can you get that on your own?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm letting the pot hold it for me.
Yeah.
Okay, we got everything there. So this is going here. Now we're going to add some things to this. Here's a couple of cups of beef broth. And about 3 tablespoons of vinegar. And we have a teaspoon of whole thyme. This is dried thyme. And a teaspoon of our Mexican oregano. And always use Mexican oregano for this if you can find it. Sometimes it's a little hard to find. And here is our little spice packet. So I'm going to stir this all around. Get that down in there. And we'll probably need some salt, but I'm not going to add any extra salt until we get to the end when I can taste it. And then we just drop the meat down in here. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to close the lid. Plug it in. Pressure cook right here. And we're going to set the time for 45 minutes. And start. Oh, here is the pressure regulator, and it is going to go in the down position. We will be back when this is done, and we're going to do a quick release on it so we don't have to wait for a long, long time for the pressure to get all the way down. And then we'll be back and show you what comes next, and we're getting very close. The pressure cooker is done. The pressure is down to 0. The airlock has dropped, so we're ready to open this up and check it out. So it's looking really, really good. Oh, yummy, yummy. So I'm just going to grab one piece of meat and play with it for a bit right here to see if it is done to the point that we want it. Oh, yeah. So this is good. Okay, so I'm going to take just a little bit of a taste. Oh my goodness. No wonder people rave about these. This is just fantastic. So here's what we want to do. I'm going to soak the meat, just let it sit here for a little while. And notice that we have some oil on the top. I want the oil to rise to the top on this because that's what we're going to do to use to fix the, there's our spice packet. I was not sure what that was. But we're just going to leave everything here, let it soak, let it cool for a little bit, and we will be back in probably about a half an hour. And we should have oil that has risen to the top that we're going to use to cook our tortillas in. And then we'll take out the meat and flake it, and then we'll be in business. So we'll see you soon. It's go time. Here's our shredded meat right here.
Okay.
I have a little bit of chopped onion and cilantro mixed here. I'm all set up. So here is the sauce with a lot of the fat that has risen to the surface. So this is what we're going to try to do. Oh, keep your fingers crossed. So I have our tortillas. I'm going to make 4 of these tacos for us for lunch. And so I'm going to quickly dip the tortillas in this mixture right here with the oil on the top with the fat, beef fat that has risen to the top. And so it should be good. And then I'm going to put them in this frying pan. We'll fry them, and then we'll put the meat on it and the cheese on it. And then we'll flip them over, and we're just going to do it. So let's do it. I want to be sure that it's hot enough here. Okay. So just lay it on the top, over, and on. Oh no, I don't think these tortillas are going to work. Then put some cheese. Some meat. Then we're going to fold these in half. Flip that over. Now you can cook these as long as you want to. You can leave them a little bit soft, or you can let them really harden off to where they're more brittle and it just crunches when you bite into it. We saw them both ways, the way that they were prepared. Okay, and so this one is going right there. Okay, so on the top, to get mostly just the oil, and in it goes. Cheese. Some meat. Oh, I should have done it the other way. Over the top. And another one there. So we'll just garnish these with the cilantro and onions. And Jim is going to come around and we're going to have a taste test. Well, here is what our plate looks like. It is absolutely beautiful, a great presentation. We have a little bit of the sauce right in here, and they call this something else, but I can't remember what it's called.
I don't remember what it was called.
So are you ready to taste?
Sure.
Is your mouth just watering, honey?
Yeah, my mouth.
Okay, so can I help you to one?
No, that's all right. I'll get it.
Okay. Help yourself.
I will work on it.
I'm sharing this dipping with you if that's okay.
No, that's not okay.
And here's a lime for you. Was it okay that I got my fingerprints on it?
No cooties here.
Okay, so, oh, I can't wait. Oh, my mouth is just watering.
So are we going to double dip on this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, oh my gosh. These are just phenomenal.
The afterbite is there.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but I had to take some of the beef from between my teeth.
Oh, my word. We have got to have a family dinner with these.
Be nice.
These are just fantastic. I guess we're going to keep eating. We're both hungry. Plus, we can make more if we want more.
Yeah, that's true too.
So with the leftovers, I'm going to freeze the meat separately from the sauce, and we'll just make up little packets and freeze them. And then we have all of that work done, so we can just pull it out, and then we will make the tacos and have the meat and the sauce all ready to go.
Yeah,
So
that
that-
sounds like a reasonable idea.
That will just be a fantastic
Yeah.
quick meal for us after we get it thawed.
10 minutes.
So Ed, thank you, thank you, thank you. These are fantastic. Did it live up to your
Yeah, it did.
wildest
Yeah,
expectations?
the expectations were the wildest.
Yes, they were. You were so funny.
Funny? Why am I funny?
No, you were when we were looking at those videos. So now this is your dream come true. Well, thank you
I
so
could have
much.
Pavlov's dogs.
Thank you for being with us. This was fun for us. It's kind of a long day, but not too bad. Really wasn't too bad. We streamlined it from what some of the others did, and it was great to be able to use our pressure cooker to do it. So thanks so much for joining us. We hope you try this recipe and love it as much as we do. And we will see you very soon for more videos.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Sticky fingers.